The first sign that something had gone wrong appeared far from Earth, near a star that had been dead for millions of years. The star no longer burned, yet its orbit was crowded with silent machines. Alien surveyors had passed this region many times before, but this time their sensors found something strange. One object was not alien at all. It was human. The probe was old, older than most spacefaring civilizations. Its surface was scarred by radiation and dust, and its engines had failed long ago. Still, its core transmitted a weak signal. The aliens did not understand the language, but they understood the structure. This was not a message of greeting or trade, it was a lock. When the probe was opened, the signal changed. Deep systems woke up and a warning spread through alien networks. Ancient codes appeared, written in a logic that felt familiar yet unsettling. The message did not threaten. It did not ask. It simply stated that a threshold had been crossed. News of the discovery traveled fast. Within days, powerful alien councils were speaking a name they had rarely used: humanity. On Earth, the alert arrived without sound. No alarm rang and no screen flashed red. Instead, a quiet request appeared in secure systems across the planet. Only a small group of people saw it. Jack Morris was one of them. Jack sat in a plain room beneath the rocky ground of Colorado. He was not a soldier, though many thought he was. He was a systems engineer chosen because he understood old designs and forgotten plans. When the message appeared, he felt his chest tighten. The screen showed a simple line of text: external discovery confirmed. Failsafe visibility level 1. Jack leaned back in his chair. For years, he had believed this day might never come. The failsafe had been built in fear and hope, buried under layers of secrecy. It was never meant to be found. Not yet. He stood and left the room, passing through long halls lined with metal and stone. Guards nodded but did not stop him. They had orders not to ask questions today. In another part of the facility, Lisa Brown was already reading the same message. She was a historian, though her work never appeared in books. Her job was to remember what others had chosen to forget. When she saw the alert, her hands trembled slightly. She opened an old archive, one that required both her voice and her presence. Files appeared, filled with records from a time when humanity had first reached the stars. The early explorers had seen wonders, but they had also seen signs of ruin. Empty worlds, broken structures, civilizations that had risen high then vanished without a trace. Lisa whispered to herself as she read. They knew, they always knew. Back then, humanity had not been strong. They had no grand fleets and no mighty weapons, but they had one advantage. They learned from history, even when it was not their own. The decision to build the failsafe had not been easy. Many leaders had argued against it. They said it was too costly, too dark, too focused on disaster, but others had pushed forward. They believed survival was not guaranteed by strength alone. The failsafe was not a single machine. It was a promise written into matter and space itself. If certain patterns were detected, if certain signals appeared, the failsafe would prepare humanity for something older than any empire. Now the galaxy had found a piece of that promise. Ethan Cole was in orbit when the call reached him. He commanded a deep space logistics fleet, the kind that moved quietly and asked few questions. His ships did not carry flags or weapons. They carried parts, fuel, and people. His console lit up with a secure channel. The voice on the other end was calm but serious. It has begun. Ethan closed his eyes for a moment. He had trained for this, even if he never believed he would see it. His fleet changed course without ceremony, slipping into routes that did not appear on public charts. Across Earth, similar movements began. Old stations woke from sleep. Forgotten relays aligned, nothing exploded, no weapons fired. To the average citizen, life continued as normal. Planes flew, cities glowed, children slept. In the depths of space, alien observers noticed something else. Humanity was changing posture, not toward attack but toward readiness. Jack joined a meeting that spanned continents. Faces appeared on the walls around him. Leaders, scientists, planners, none smiled. They found the probe, Jack said. Level 1 is active. We always knew this could happen, Lisa replied. The question is how far it goes. No one answered at first. Then an older man spoke, his voice steady. We follow the plan, only the plan. Jack nodded, though doubt gnawed at him. The plan had been written by people long dead. people who had stared into the unknown and decided that hope was worth hiding. Lisa returned to her archives. She searched for the first mention of the cycle. It appeared in scattered alien records, half myths and half data. Every few million years, something moved through the galaxy. Stars dimmed, networks failed, life ended. No one knew what caused it, only that no one had ever stopped it. Humanity had not tried to fight it, they had tried to prepare for it. Ethan's fleet reached a quiet region between stars. Here, space itself seemed thicker, shaped by unseen structures. Massive frames floated in the dark, unfinished but waiting. He gave the order to begin limited activation. Lights spread across the structures like dawn. Systems hummed, drawing power from sources hidden deep in folded space. Nothing dramatic happened, yet the scale was impossible to miss. Alien sensors flared with confusion and fear. They detected energy flows that rivaled ancient legends. Still, no weapon signatures appeared. Back on Earth, Jack watched the data stream in silence. The Failsafe was waking, but only enough to signal its nature. "It's not a shield or a gun," Lisa said softly. "It's a net." Jack understood then. The Failsafe was not built to save humanity alone. It was meant to hold the galaxy together long enough for life to endure. Far beyond human space, alien councils argued and panicked. Some demanded action. Others urged caution. All of them watched the same truth unfold. Humanity had known about the end long before anyone else. And instead of ruling the stars, they had prepared to protect them. The probe near the dead star sent one final update before going silent again. The lock remained closed, but the galaxy was now aware that something vast waited behind it. Jack stood alone after the meetings ended. He looked at the quiet room and felt the weight of centuries press down on him. "We were never meant to be first," he said to no one. "Just ready." Above Earth, the stars looked the same as they always had. But across the galaxy, a simple truth had begun to spread. Humanity was not weak. Humanity had been waiting. The news spread through the galaxy faster than any ship could travel. Humanity had awakened something ancient, something vast, and yet it had not attacked. That alone confused many civilizations. Power was always shown through force. Silence made them uneasy. Alien envoys arrived near human space, stopping at careful distances. They watched stations that had not existed before. These structures did not shine with weapons fire or defensive shields. Instead, they bent light and space around them like calm hands holding fragile glass. On Earth, Jack Morris slept little. His days blurred together as data flowed non-stop. Every signal from the Failsafe was measured and checked. Level 1 activation had done exactly what it was meant to do. It had announced presence without threat. Still, the pressure grew. Lisa Brown met with alien historians through secure links. Their faces appeared strange and varied, but their voices carried the same fear she knew well. They asked about the cycle, about the end that haunted their oldest stories. Lisa answered only what she was allowed to share. She spoke in careful words. "Humanity did not discover the cycle first," she said. "We only chose to believe it." Some aliens grew angry, others grew quiet. Ethan Cole's fleet continued its slow movement. Ships arrived at hidden coordinates and released cargo that unfolded into massive frameworks. Workers, human and machine alike, moved with calm focus. No one rushed. The Failsafe demanded patience. Ethan walked the deck of his command ship, watching the distant glow of construction. He remembered his training, the old lessons taught in sealed rooms. Never show fear. Never show pride. The Failsafe works only if it remains what it was meant to be. Far away, an alien council debated whether humanity could be trusted. One faction argued that humans had built a weapon so powerful it could end all rivals. Another faction feared that if humanity failed, the cycle would claim everyone. They sent a message at last. On Earth, Jack received it. "They want proof," Lisa said after reading the transmission. "Proof that this is not a trap." Jack sighed. "They always do." He authorized the next step. In deep space, a dying star trembled. Its light flickered as gravity tore at its core. Alien scientists had long marked it as lost. Nothing could save it. The Failsafe reached out. Energy flowed not in violent bursts but in steady streams. Space folded gently, guiding pressure away from collapse. The star stabilized, its death delayed by centuries. Alien sensors recorded everything. Panic followed. If humanity could do this, what else could they do? Jack watched the recordings in silence. Lisa stood beside him. We just changed the balance forever, she said. No, Jack replied. We revealed it. On human networks, secrecy tightened. Information was shared only with those who needed it. Still, rumors spread. People sensed that something vast was moving behind the curtain of daily life. Ethan received new orders. A delegation was coming. Alien representatives wanted to see the Failsafe directly. He did not like it, but he understood the need. Preparations began. Observation zones were cleared. Safety layers engaged. The Failsafe remained calm, like a sleeping giant aware of its own strength. When the alien ships arrived, they were dwarfed by the structures around them. No weapons locked on. No threats were made. The silence spoke louder than any display of force. Ethan greeted the envoys through projection. His voice was steady. You are safe here, he said, but you will see only what we allow. Some envoys bristled at the words. Others felt relief. Lisa guided the historical briefing. She showed records of dead worlds, of repeating patterns across millions of years. She showed how humanity had mapped these signs long before they understood them. We were afraid, she said, so we prepared. One alien asked the question many feared. Why share this now? Lisa answered honestly, because you found us, and because the cycle does not spare ignorance. While talks continued, something unexpected happened. Failsafe sensors detected an anomaly far beyond known space. It matched the oldest predictions. Jack felt cold as the data confirmed it. The cycle was early. Only by a fraction of cosmic time, but enough to matter. Ethan was recalled to secure channels. His face hardened as he listened. Limited expansion, he said. We cannot wait. Across hidden regions, more systems awakened. Vast anchors locked into place. Protective fields spread like invisible webs across star lanes. Alien governments watched in awe and fear. Some accused humanity of manipulation. Others quietly adjusted their own plans, realizing how unprepared they truly were. On Earth, Jack addressed a closed council. We can still stop at level 2, he said. Anything beyond that will change us. An older woman shook her head. It already has. Lisa returned to her work, documenting everything. She knew future generations would need these records just as the past had guided them. Ethan stood once more among the great structures. He felt small but also proud, not of power but of purpose. Alien envoys departed with more questions than answers. The galaxy buzzed with fear and wonder. Humanity had not declared war. Humanity had declared responsibility, and somewhere in the dark between galaxies, something ancient had begun to notice. Fear spread faster than understanding. Across the galaxy, governments argued and blamed one another while stars quietly followed their ancient paths. Humanity's actions had stopped one collapse, but they had also proven that the impossible was now possible. Some alien powers reacted with anger. Fleets gathered near borders not to attack but to prepare. Others sent desperate requests for protection. Many simply watched, frozen between hope and terror. On Earth, Jack Morris felt the weight of every decision. Level 2 activation had expanded the Failsafe's reach, but it had also revealed more of its nature. It was not just a system of machines. It was a network of choices locked into space and time. Jack stood before a wall of drifting data. Projections showed stars, lanes, and growing zones of stability. They looked beautiful, almost peaceful. Beauty can still break the world, he said quietly. Lisa Brown heard him and nodded. She had spent the last days speaking with alien scholars who finally admitted the truth. Their oldest records spoke of sudden endings, of skies going dark and worlds going silent. We all knew, Lisa said. We just hoped it would not be our turn. Ethan Cole did not have time for hope. His fleet worked nonstop. New structures unfolded near fragile systems. Some were simple stabilizers. Others were shelters built to hold entire populations if the worst came. Ethan watched workers guide a massive ring into position around a small blue star. It glowed softly as it locked in place. This one saves 6 billion lives, a technician said. Ethan swallowed. Numbers like that never felt real. Not everyone welcomed humanity's help. An alien alliance issued a warning. They claimed the Failsafe interfered with natural balance. They accused humanity of placing itself above the galaxy. Their fleets moved closer to a protected zone. On Earth, alarms finally sounded. Jack slammed his hand on the table during an emergency meeting. "We do not fire first," he said. "We never do, but what if they force us?" someone asked. Lisa answered before Jack could. "Then they prove why the failsafe was needed." Ethan received new orders, defensive measures only. No weapons, no pursuit. Shields and barriers were allowed. As the alien fleets advanced, they found space itself resisting them. Lanes warped, energy bled away, ships slowed as if moving through thick water, panic erupted among their crews. Humanity had not attacked. Humanity had said no. Alien commanders demanded explanations. Messages flew across channels. Ethan addressed them directly. "You are entering a protected region," he said. "Turn back. No harm will come to you." Some listened. Others did not. A single alien ship fired. The shot vanished, absorbed by a field that rippled once and faded. No return fire followed. Silence fell. The alien fleets withdrew. Across the galaxy, opinions shifted. Jack felt both relief and dread. Restraint had worked, but only this time. Lisa updated the historical record. She marked this moment carefully. First contact with fear. First refusal without violence. Then the data changed. Failsafe sensors detected multiple anomalies now, not one. Faint at first, then clearer. The cycle was not a single wave. It was a pattern of cascading failures. Jack stared at the projections. "It's bigger than we thought," he said. Lisa closed her eyes. "It always is." Ethan's fleet was stretched thin. Humanity had prepared, but not for this scale. Even with alien cooperation growing, time was running out. Some alien worlds finally offered help. They shared resources, labor, and local knowledge. Trust grew slowly, born from necessity. Others refused. They chose isolation, hoping to hide from the storm. Jack addressed a joint council for the first time. Human and alien faces filled the chamber. "This is not about control," he said. "It never was. The failsafe cannot save everyone if we stand apart." An alien leader asked the question no one wanted to hear. "What if it fails?" Jack answered honestly. "Then we fail together." Ethan oversaw the construction of the largest structure yet. It was not a shield or a stabilizer. It was a core. A coordination hub meant to guide the failsafe through the coming stress. Its activation would push humanity to level 3. That line had never been crossed. On Earth, the decision tore through the council. Arguments lasted for hours. Some feared what humanity might become. Others feared extinction more. Lisa spoke last. "The failsafe does not change who we are," she said. "It reveals it." Jack authorized level 3. Space trembled, not with violence but with alignment. Systems across light years synchronized. Energy flowed like breath. Alien scientists watched in stunned silence. Ethan felt the shift even through the hull of his ship. Something vast had opened its eyes. Reports came in fast. Stars held steady. Unstable regions calmed. But the anomalies grew clearer. Something was coming, not a creature, not an army, a process. An ancient reset written into the fabric of the galaxy. Humanity's failsafe pushed back not by force but by rewriting paths, delaying collapse, buying time. But time was not endless. Jack stood alone after the activation. Exhaustion pulled at him. "We built this to protect others," he said softly. "I just hope we're strong enough to finish it." Far beyond human space, the first signs of the cycle touched the edges of reality, and for the first time in history, something pushed back. The first full wave of the cycle did not arrive like a storm. It arrived like silence. Sensors across the galaxy recorded small losses at first. A relay here, a star dimming there. Then the pattern grew clear. Space itself was changing. Routes that had been stable for ages twisted. Gravity behaved strangely. Energy faded where it should not. Worlds that depended on precise balances began to fail. Humanity's failsafe responded at once. Jack Morris had not slept in 2 days. He stood at the center of the command ring, watching projections shift faster than the human eye could track. Level 3 was holding, but only barely. "We are slowing it," he said, "not stopping it." Lisa Brown stood beside him, her voice calm despite the fear in her eyes. "We never planned to erase it," she said, "only to survive it." Ethan Cole's fleet was everywhere at once. Ships moved through protected lanes, guiding refugees from collapsing systems into stabilized regions. Some evacuations went smoothly. Others ended in chaos and loss. Ethan watched one world vanish from the feed. The star collapsed faster than predicted. There was nothing the failsafe could do in time. He closed his eyes. "Save the next one," he said. Alien cooperation finally broke through old divisions. Fleets that once watched humanity with suspicion now followed human guidance. Engineers from dozens of species worked together, adapting the failsafe structures to their own systems. It was not perfect. Misunderstandings cost time. Pride still slowed action. But for the first time, the galaxy acted as one. Then the failsafe sent a warning no one wanted to see. Level 3 limit approaching. Jack felt his hands shake. There was one option left. Level 4. It was not written about in public records. Even most councils did not know it existed. Level 4 was not a system, it was a choice. Lisa knew what it meant as soon as she saw the data. "If we do this," she said slowly, "we bind ourselves to the failsafe forever." Jack nodded. No shutdown, no return to normal. Ethan joined the secure channel. His face was drawn but steady. "Will it work?" Jack answered honestly. "It gives the galaxy a future." At the cost of hours being simple, silence followed. Then Lisa spoke. "We were never meant to be free of responsibility," she said, "only aware of it." The vote was short, unanimous. Level 4 activation began. Nothing exploded. No blinding light filled space. Instead, the failsafe changed its role. It stopped reacting. It began guiding. Structures across the galaxy synchronized into a single living map. Energy flows adjusted in advance of collapse. Stars were nudged, not forced. Systems were gently redirected away from failure paths. Humanity was no longer pulling the net. They were part of it. Jack felt the shift inside his own mind. Interfaces grew quieter. Choices became suggestions shaped by probabilities beyond any single species. "We've given it agency," he whispered. Lisa nodded, "and ourselves purpose." Ethan saw the results almost at once. Evacuation routes stabilized. Losses slowed. Worlds that had been hours from destruction gained days, then years. Alien leaders watched in awe as predictions changed. The cycle was not gone, it was bending. Far beyond known space, the ancient process met resistance for the first time in its long existence. Not a wall, but a maze. Paths rewritten. Outcomes delayed. It adapted. So did the failsafe. Jack worked until his vision blurred. Each decision now echoed across the network. He was not alone. Thousands of human minds and countless alien ones shared the load. No rulers, no masters, only stewards. Lisa recorded the moment when the cycle reached its peak and began to fade. Not end, but weaken. "We bought time," she said. "Maybe millions of years." Ethan leaned back in his chair, exhausted, enough for someone else to finish it. As the crisis eased, the galaxy changed. Borders lost meaning. Protection zones became shared regions. Old empires shrank not by force but by choice. Humanity did not take control. They took responsibility. Jack resigned from his post months later. Others took his place. The failsafe no longer belonged to any single group. Lisa published the first open history of the cycle and humanity's response. It spread across worlds, translated into hundreds of forms. Ethan continued to command fleets, but now they carried builders more often than refugees. Years passed. Children on distant planets learned a simple truth. The galaxy had almost ended, and it had been saved not by conquest but by preparation and care. One quiet night, Jack stood beneath an open sky on Earth. The stars looked the same as they always had, but he knew better. Behind that calm light, a vast system watched and guided, shaped by human hands and shared purpose. Lisa joined him. "Do you regret it?" she asked. Jack thought for a long moment. "No," he said. "We did what we always do when it matters. We stayed." Far across the galaxy, the cycle retreated into legend once more, and humanity's greatest failsafe became something else entirely. A promise kept.